Hey, Kate, you there?
Hi, yes.
Okay. All right. All right, everyone. Thanks for joining me. It's been a while since I've done an interview. Today I have from senior at Howell High School, the Howell Rebels, and also the AAU Jersey Rebels, Kate Gresko. Thank you for joining me.
Of course. Thank you for having me.
Um, First, before we get it, interview stuff, how was the tournament at where were you? It's Spooky this weekend?
Yeah, we were at Spooky Nook again this weekend. This weekend was our best record so far. We played some good competition. We went 2-3, which we would have liked a winning record, but as a team, we've had some close losses. So I think just kind of from where we started a few weeks ago, getting back into things, I think we've picked up to a good place so far, and we're still building, our team mechanics and everything for our last few tournaments.
Yeah, it has to be tough because everything's being condensed and rushed in where you guys didn't have a full practice schedule from the start, when you guys usually start AAU, and the tournaments are condensed,
Yeah.
into it. So must be tough, but it's good that you're seeing improvement, and the team's getting better every tournament. I
Yep.
know you played the Jersey Cardinals, right?
Yes, we did.
You guys win that game.
We did. That was our first game on Friday.
Good job.
Thank you.
um now Caitlin plays both basketball and soccer for
Yes.
Howell High School.
Hmm.
Um, so, little unique question, dealing with the virus, how did you find time, when this first started, the virus, when everything was in lockdown, to actually train, stay on top of both sports?
Yeah, so with school and everything being remote since March, those last few months were kind of just we had our own schedule kind of. We weren't really uh put to a certain time frame where we had to get our work done. It was just it had to be submitted by 11:59 every day. So I feel like that compared to other schools kind of gave me a little more freedom in, having time to go out and work out on my own since I couldn't be with, my teammates or anything. So I think that definitely was a little more advantageous in my part because I had more time to just figure out what I wanted to do, both working out wise, making my own workouts for both sports. um, but other than that, it was just kind of having that balance of keeping on top of all my training and everything and schoolwork.
Yeah, I talked to, I get the Freehold Regional High School District,
Hmm.
I guess as a whole, because when I talked to, Jess Repeat, um, Ava from Freehold, they said the same thing. Basically, you guys had the freedom to do your own schedule.
Yeah.
Um, to me, I find that as an advantage, especially next year when you're in college. It's not all dates and times where
Yeah.
you have to plan your own schedule out. So I think the girls in that school district are going to have an advantage next year. Learning time management and with the practice with the teams you're going to be playing for and balancing schoolwork.
Yeah, definitely.
Um, Now, a little background. When did you start playing basketball?
So I didn't start any like travel teams or anything until I was in sixth grade, but I did rec when I was in third grade, so maybe I guess 10 I was. But yeah, I didn't really start anything competitive until I was in middle school.
Howell Hawks?
Yep.
How about soccer? How old were you when you started playing soccer?
I so I did like the little learn to play, I guess, when I was like 3, I think it was. But my friends that I grew up with in school and everything, we all joined like our Howell club teams like pretty early. Just because it wasn't anything too serious, but at the same time we were still just trying to learn how to play the game and everything. So I've been kind of more involved with soccer earlier on than I was with basketball.
Yeah, it seems like everyone starts soccer before basketball. I guess I
Yeah.
don't know if it's because of the hoop being higher and being
Hmm.
smaller,
Yeah.
but everyone I interviewed, if they played multiple sports, it's basketball seems to be a couple grades behind.
Yeah.
Did you play any other sports when you were younger?
No, just basketball and soccer.
Okay. Do you have any siblings?
I do. I have a younger brother.
Does he play any sports?
Yeah, he plays ice hockey. He's going to
Okay.
be a freshman this year.
Okay. You can't really help him with ice hockey, can you?
No, not really.
All right. I want to talk. I like to ask it. All the kids I'm interviewing. What their families meant. Parents, how they helped you. Along the way.
Yeah, so my mom played basketball when she was younger. She played at TCNJ um, when she went to college, and that just kind of helped me out since she knows the game and she kind of played the same positions that I do. So it's always good to hear an outside perspective other than just a coach, like after a game or something, of something that she has an opinion on, like, oh, you could have like boxed out better, or you could have, went to a basket a different way or something like that. So it's always good to have that outside perspective from her instead of just like, someone else's parent who doesn't really know the game as much. She kind of had that firsthand experience of knowing the game. So that's definitely helpful.
Yeah, I could say parents are probably most parents are probably tougher on their kids than say an outside person or coach.
Yeah.
'Cause they, especially you say your mom knows the sport clearly. Playing
Yeah.
college ball. She definitely sees things that a normal fan wouldn't see and stuff.
Yeah. And
So
my dad used to coach. He works at a high school in Jersey, and he used to coach the girls team too. And he coached football and baseball too. So just having both my parents involved in sports has definitely given me both that competitive background, I guess, and also they know the game. Whether it's my mom knowing basketball or my dad knows basketball too. They both give me insight from different perspectives, which is also a really good thing to have.
do they not just like the game aspect, but the mental aspect too? Did they help you with that as well? I mean, I could
Yeah,
see that you have
definitely.
been, especially your dad being a coach. That
Yeah.
going into a game, not just the game itself. Preparing and stuff like that.
Yeah, just always, get a good night's sleep, like all that stuff. But also if, if it's a states game coming up, they're always like, hey, don't think too much about it. Like, yeah, it's states and everything, but you just got to play the same game that you always play. And, staying calm is always the big thing they emphasize to me because you always play better when you know what you're doing and, preparing film wise and everything, just know what you're doing and it'll be easier.
Yeah, that's great. Who are some a role model you had? Let's go professionally, like somebody in sports or actor.
Yeah, so growing up, I was always into Mia Hamm. I feel like that's always the generic young girl who looks up to an idol in the soccer world. Just I guess the big players instead of, someone random that I would pick just because, I saw where they came from and just seeing how hard they had to work to get what they wanted. I feel like that just kind of generic overview kind of gave me the drive that I have just to like work for what I want instead of like trying to find like the easy way out. You know what I mean? So just seeing their work ethic, I guess, inspired me growing up.
Yeah, and Mia Hamm's a good one. I actually got to meet Mia Hamm.
Oh wow, really?
Yep, I actually just found the program cleaning out my mom's house from 1994. My sister's soccer team won some kind of event, and they got to meet the national team
Oh wow.
up at Rutgers after they had a game.
That's
So I got
awesome.
to, yeah, my sister Michelle Akers was my sister's favorite player. She's on the cover, so I'm actually when she comes over later, I'm gonna give her
That's cool. Yeah.
cover. So yeah, it was interesting. It was fun, being I was younger, but meeting
Yeah.
some national players, especially for the soccer players, it's always a big deal.
Yeah, definitely.
Training. Who do you train with for basketball?
So I go to hoop group in Neptune sometimes. With my schedule it's busy, but I always try to either work out on my own or go there when they have like camps and stuff. Um, like the point guard stuff like that.
They just
Yeah,
had one
just
of those, didn't they?
yeah, they did.
Yeah. Um, yeah, it seems like if you're from Monmouth County, hoop group is the
Yeah.
answer for basketball training. You're gonna get the best competition there.
Yeah,
Uh,
definitely.
how about soccer?
So we're right now with my club team is really all the training that I would do, but we haven't really picked up since the whole virus has gone on. So it's just been more of captain's practices twice a week. We trained with Nicole Whitley, uh, really good trainer. I've known her for a while just because my teams have been involved with her. We started doing that for with some of the girls. It wasn't affiliated with the school or anything, but just we got some of the girls to come out if they wanted to just try get a head start and everything before our school practices picked up. So I think just with Nicole and now our coaches are able to practice with us too. That's all I've been doing other than on my own.
Yeah, soccer different than basketball, where most soccer practice are actually just a training session.
Yeah.
Where basketball is more practice, scrimmages and
Yeah.
things like that. So I talked to a few people, and they said they bring trainers in, especially for the high school teams, because I don't know, the schedules with when coaches are allowed to be with the team and not confuses me. So, but
Yep.
it's not, because I see the basketball coaches coaching on the sidelines this summer.
Yeah.
But when I went to Good Sports for soccer, you didn't see a single high school soccer coach there.
Yep. There's a lot of different rules for all the
Yeah,
sports. It's really confusing.
it is very confusing. And one of the parents was explaining that a trainer comes in and basically runs the team until the coach, and then another one of the coaches actually was telling me he's training one of the other high school teams because he's not
Yep.
allowed to see his team, and then another coach is coming in to train his team
Yeah.
because you're not allowed to be. Yeah,
It's
they,
very chaotic.
yeah, the state needs to fix that, because honestly, I think you'd be, especially with the virus going on and everything, probably safer if your own coach is running it. That way, he can control, the social distancing, whatever guidelines the state put in place for, to resume high school sports.
Yeah, exactly.
So, I want to move to AAU. What teams have you played for, or you've always been on the Rebels?
Yeah, so other than the Howell Hawks, my only well, that was travel, but my only AAU team has been the Rebels. I've been with them since I think 8th grade.
Has Bob been your coach the whole time?
Yeah, he's one of them. The other is Pat Leary.
Okay. Um, talk a little. What is it like playing for Bob Dabina?
So, he's a really good coach. He knows a lot about the game. It's definitely good having him because he has the collegiate level experience, and he's pretty tough on us, which is definitely what we all need. I always like having him there. Like when you make a mistake, there's no mercy. Like you made a mistake, you need to fix it. He's not going to sugarcoat things, and I think that's one of the biggest parts about his coaching that I think is most influential because it's not going to get any easier, and that's a big thing that he emphasizes to us. Like you think you're working hard, but you're going to be working 10 times harder when it comes to college. So having that tough mindset has definitely been a big thing for us.
And I believe he coached on the college level. I believe, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I mean that's great. And what I tell whenever players I interview say about tough coaches or trainers, that a lot of them have a strong mindset, knowing that not to take it personal. They just know there's more in you, and you
Yep.
could play better. And as long as you realize that it's not personal, it's just going to make you better in the long run.
Exactly.
Who are some teammates you play AAU? You don't have to go through the Howell girls, because I want to go through them when we talk about Howell High School's team. But some of the non-Howell girls on your AAU team.
Yeah, so I play with Tanya and Kaylee Ellsbury. They're from Freehold Township. I have Lucy Alberici. She is from Raritan. She lives in Hazlitt. And then there's a few other girls that fill in. We have Renee Wells. She's from Mid South. She goes to Mid South.
Okay.
And then Riley. She's new to the team. She's a few years younger than us, but it's definitely good to get her that exposure. She's from Central Regional, and that pretty much makes up the team. Other than that, we have a few girls that help us out and stuff because of numbers sometimes, but other than that, that's pretty much it.
Yeah, it looks like the good core is the Freehold Howell
Yeah.
area, which is weird because I know Bob's from the Raritan area, isn't he?
Yep.
So, last question with AAU. What were your thoughts early on during the pandemic of it possibly being canceled, knowing that this was going to be your AAU season?
Yeah, so I was definitely worried about it because, obviously recruiting and everything, you only go up to junior year in AAU, like the summer after that. So that was definitely a big concern for me, considering that, we were supposed to go to Chicago. That was our first big tournament that was canceled. And that was pretty upsetting because I had guest played on a team the year before in Chicago with Grace Leary, and that got us some good exposure, and it was just a good tournament with good competition all around. So I think that was the first cancellation that kind of made me think like, oh, maybe we're not going to have a season at all, which I just kind of had to deal with that, I guess. But then as we were able to start practicing again, I was a little more hopeful that our tournaments would pick up again.
Yeah, it's great. By the end, the tournaments, what they've basically been going on since first week in July, I think,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
Indianapolis and stuff like that.
Hmm.
So it's great, and it's great to really see. You don't hear any issues coming out, with the virus. When these
Yeah.
tournaments are ending, which hopefully these high school districts, see that all these events have been running and there's been
Yeah.
virtually zero issues. So,
Yeah.
um, hopefully that's a good sign for especially come winter because I know everyone's afraid of indoor sports, but hopefully by
Hmm.
winter people could see that if you take the right precautions, everything will be fine.
Exactly. Yeah.
Um, so soccer, talk just quickly. We'll talk about soccer and your club team. Now, who do you play for?
I play for Liverpool Academy.
Okay, where are they based out of?
It's just out of Point Pleasant. That's usually where we practice and everything. It's called Liverpool Shore, so it's just a bunch of different towns, like girls from different towns in the Shore area that come together for the team.
What position do you play?
I play either center mid, which is what I'm primarily on for a high school team,
Okay.
or sometimes I fill in for center back.
Okay. Who's your coach there?
Craig Burtwhistle.
Okay. Don't know. How is he?
He's good. Yeah, he's definitely tough. He is high up in the academy, so he's really knowledgeable about the game, and he's from the UK, so he has different aspects of the game because it's sort of different over there, like the practices and everything like that. It's pretty hardcore over there.
Yeah.
So bringing over that knowledge and everything, and kind of that mindset for our practices is always good, and the different vision of the game.
Yeah. I mean, the best soccer's over there. So,
Yeah.
um, before we get into high school, I want to ask this: since you play AAU and Academy soccer,
Hmm.
both top. You play both soccer and basketball for high school, which you don't really see as much these days, especially
Yeah.
at the level you play. How do you? We talked about balance it during the virus, training.
Hmm.
How do you balance it, during a normal year, preparing for both sports?
Yeah, so usually it's pretty tough because I try to take the hardest classes that I can in school because obviously school comes first, and then having practices pretty much every day of the week for high school teams and outside, we usually try to manage our time like according with the seasons for high school games and stuff like that. So, I mean, our coaches are aware that we have a lot going on. So I guess that aspect of it is kind of helpful that they're not just kind of blowing it off and saying you have to be here anyway. But still, it's a lot on my plate because you go right from practice, come home, try to eat something, and then go to another practice and get your homework done when you can. And it's a lot of late nights, but it's my decision, so I kind of have to just suck it up and deal with it.
Yeah. Have you ran into any coaches that tried to just pull you towards one sport?
I wouldn't say coaches. There's been
Mm.
some trainers who have kind of been like, you know what, you have to pick at this point. And I've been going for a while now, just kind of going along with it and making it work. But obviously I've kind of narrowed it down to my decision of playing basketball in college, but that doesn't mean that I'm not going to keep being serious about soccer. But my coaches have been really supportive and understanding that, I take both very seriously. So I think that's definitely been a huge part of my athletic careers in both sports.
Yeah, that's good. A parent I'm close with, daughter plays both sports in high school.
Hmm.
Very, very talented soccer player. It's probably going to go Division I soccer.
Hmm.
And but a tournament for PDA occurred during the first week of states for basketball, and her PDA coach actually told her do states. That's an opportunity that
Yeah,
you don't know when you're going to be able to if you're going to play in states every year.
exactly.
So to me, that's good that it's seeing more and more coaches aren't pushing, just
Yeah.
you want to come here, and like you said, it's probably more of parents.
Hmm.
I'm not saying the kids' parents. I'm saying probably outside parents and
Yeah.
and trainers. So it's good that that they don't pressure. Um,
Yeah.
I know my niece. she likes both sports too. She's right now
Hmm.
more of a soccer player, I would say, and her coach wanted her to train into winter, and my sister told him no, because she wants to do basketball in the
Yep.
winter. So I mean, she's only 8, so but my
Yeah,
sister,
I've been very lucky with my parents.
yeah, and you don't want to end up playing one sport 12 months out of the year, especially at a younger age.
Exactly.
And it's good to play multiple sports, works different muscles, and
Yeah.
especially soccer. Definitely need more stamina playing soccer and stuff. So
Yep.
that's good. So when going into high school, what kind of goals did you set when you first entered high school? For not just your freshman year, but what did you want to achieve your 4 years at Howell?
Well, going into freshman year, I was very nervous. I guess as expected, coming in as a freshman, you're just looking up at all these seniors and they kind of know what's going on and they have everything figured out and it's very overwhelming. You really have no idea what's going on. But, I just kind of set my own personal goals, such as like, just honestly work. I didn't have anything like super set in stone, like, oh, I have to do this or I have to do that. I just kind of went out every day, every practice, and was just like, you have to work as hard as you can, to get to the highest level. Just do all that I can and give it my all, because that's really all I could have done. And what happens, happens. So I kind of just went with that mindset. And, the overall goals came with time, such as like, make it to states or get on the starting lineup and everything like that. But other than that, going into freshman year, it's just been, do what you can and it'll, I guess, all fall into place.
Yeah, that's a good mindset. Now going into freshman year, what goals did you set for yourself for soccer?
So I made the freshman team on my freshman year on the soccer team. So, being in that position, it was, I just kind of wanted to be captain at that point, because I was like, if I'm captain, I can help my teammates, be the best that we can. And obviously, any of us would have been set for that position, because I felt that we were all very good and we were all in the same kind of skill set, I would say. So I think just having that mindset, not even just, oh, I have to be captain, but I think that at my place that I was at, I was kind of thinking to myself, okay, you're on the freshman team, you have to just be the best that you can. So I think just having that mindset, not just having the title of captain or whatever, because that really doesn't matter, just kind of helped me, like, that's what you can work towards at this point. So that's just kind of what I was aiming for.
Did you make captain?
I did.
I guess that could so that could be like a highlight, but any other highlights you had your freshman year?
I don't think so. We just had a good season. That's all I remember. So, yeah.
Which upperclassmen, or if any, helped you, whether, try to become a better captain or leader, or try to help you?
Yeah, so I wouldn't say that there was anyone in particular, because I didn't really branch out as much, since I was just like, I didn't really know anyone. But I guess just collectively seeing them all work hard, doing their laps at practice, like running hard, like doing all these crazy fitness things. I guess just collectively seeing the upperclassmen do that without complaining just kind of made me realize that you're here and, you have to do what you have to do and you don't really have a choice at this point. So I guess just seeing that kind of helps me just, deal with it, I guess you could say, and just stop not complaining, but just think to yourself, there's no point in wishing you weren't doing it, because it's going to happen anyway.
Okay.
So,
How about basketball? What was the goal you had your freshman year for basketball?
yeah, so for basketball, we had the summer workouts with the coach, but like soccer, we were saying before, it was kind of the weird rules where our coach couldn't be there or something like that. So, having those more structured practices during the summer months kind of made me realize that I wanted to, make it to the varsity level, as did anyone else. But, having the coach there kind of pushed me harder. And I realized that that was my goal for that year, was to like make it on varsity. Um, I mean, it was for soccer too, but I felt like having the coach there kind of made me realize like, oh, this is like pretty serious now. And like, it was a big deal to me. So that was probably my main goal for that year.
You made varsity your freshman year?
I did, yes.
What were some highlights you had? I guess, making varsity as a freshman is a pretty big highlight. Did the team have any other highlights?
So we did pretty good, I'd say, for that year. I think it was more of just kind of not a team bonding thing, but more of like kind of getting to know each other because there were three freshmen that year. It was me, Grace, and Mackenzie who were on varsity. So I feel like finding our position and kind of our role on the team, not so much as like, oh, like I'm filling in for this person, but also like, helping each other out at practice and like pushing the starters at practice, like on defense when we're defending them and stuff like that. I feel like that definitely was something that helped us progress throughout the season and like working hard at practice and stuff like that. So, like I said, we had a good record that year. Um, I'm pretty sure we made it to shore conference. I think. Um, yeah, I think we had a good run that year, and it was like I said, it was more of like a building up year since there were a decent amount of seniors leaving.
Oh, so you had a balance of seniors and freshmen. That's
Yeah.
Yeah, that's weird. Yeah, because I noticed. Did you have any seniors last year on the team?
We had one, yes.
Yeah. So, um, which I mean, we'll get into my thoughts for next season for you girls, but
Mm-hmm.
that's one of the reasons. You and Grace and both Mackenzies. It's a
Mm-hmm.
very good core coming back for next season. But we'll get into that in a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Going into your sophomore year, what was something you were looking to improve in soccer? Or a goal you had, going into your second year?
Yeah, so coming from the freshman team, I knew that obviously I had to work to get on either JV or varsity because, the whole mindset is, oh, you're a freshman, you go on the freshman team, but you have to work your second year to get on to actually like make it onto one of the other teams. So at tryouts, I came out and just kind of had the mindset of, oh, like I really want to make it to varsity, like prove that I'm here for something. So again, going in, that was kind of my goal. And then once I got there, I was just kind of working towards having a good season and, working with my teammates to kind of improve as the season went along.
Any highlights you had your second year?
Um, I don't think I did. Actually, I made the all A North team. I
Okay.
think the first team, yeah, my sophomore year.
Um, how about the same thing for basketball? What was something you were looking? You were already on varsity. What was something you were looking to improve on your sophomore year in basketball?
Yeah, so personally, I didn't really have any goals, I guess, other than making it to the starting lineup, because of all the seniors that I mentioned that we were losing, and we already had the foundation of the year above me, which we had four girls in the year above me, and so I think just working with them and then combined with the people that were bringing onto the team that year, that was kind of a building up year, like last year was for our soccer, but other than that, we just kind of wanted to kind of change our style of game, I guess I'd say. We were trying to work more towards a fast paced game and, more of a strong defensive game. Just kind of working on the things that we saw we could improve on the year before.
Okay. Um, Now going into your junior year, I saw one game for soccer for Howell. I saw you guys played Freehold,
Okay.
the home game. It's the only game I got to. Talk a little. Who's the coach at Howell for the soccer
Uh,
team?
Christy Casella.
And you said she's been there the whole time you've been there, right?
Yeah, she was, I believe my freshman year was her first year.
Okay. Okay. How is it, playing for her, her coaching style?
Yeah, so she's a good coach. We love her support and everything. She's definitely big on fitness because, you got to be able to last the whole 90 minutes if you want to, push it out. If it's a close game at the end, you have to be able to, still stick with the other team. And, each year we lose a decent amount of players just because each class is so large for some reason. I guess it's probably something to do with the amount of players you need on the roster, but, um, it's a bunch of trying to figure out like where everyone fits. So I think her big thing is just trying to figure out a formation that kind of works for everyone. So her big thing is just, like I said, fitness and everything. But, yeah, she definitely she's good with, keeping us up in shape and everything like that.
What was a goal you had last season for soccer?
So I definitely wanted to improve just my I wouldn't say vision of the field, but being able to work the ball more from the back line to the forward line and building up from there. So I think that was more of a personal goal, seeing the field at a more wide range than just, trying to play up and out. Um, just the technical stuff, I guess, was my main goal for last year, just to improve personally.
Okay. B-ball, I got to see Howell a few times. I think Freehold, Marlboro,
Hmm.
one other game. Marlboro game was a little rough to watch.
Yeah.
They play such a high pace, fast paced game.
Yeah.
But I just want, what was your junior year? You and Grace, the leaders of the team, clearly.
Hmm.
What were some goals you had? Maybe not just on court, being the leader or whatnot.
Yeah. So, we obviously had a senior, but filling in kind of the next level of the upperclassmen, I feel like we just wanted to really make sure that we had a strong bond with the whole team, because if you don't have a bond with anyone, then you're not going to really go far. So I think that was, early on our biggest thing, but also we really wanted to make it to states and shore conference, just because, that just kind of prove, like, it's kind of a, how do I word this? I guess just a big accomplishment maybe that we could have kind of as we're building the team up again. So I guess just those two things, like states and shore conference, and then maybe chemistry was a big thing for us last year.
Did you make sure conference?
We did.
Okay. Oh yeah, you guys lost to St. Rose, right?
Yes.
Yeah. And states, how did you end up doing in states?
We lost against Hillsborough.
Okay. Was that first round or second round?
First.
It was first round. I want to talk about, a couple players. First let's talk about Grace. How long have you two been playing basketball together?
So I knew her for a while, and then we were officially on the same team together in the Howell Hawks in 6th grade. So I've always been on her team. She was on AAU before I was. So I started a little late with that, but I eventually joined the same team that she did. I guess not really on purpose, just, we just ended up there. I obviously knew that she was on the team, and that's how I kind of knew about it. So, we've just been playing together for a really long time.
What's that, friendship like, and, the bond, because you see it with, Sabino and Passat playing
Mm-hmm.
AAU together, and, you two, it looks like you two, play very well together, and,
Yeah.
playing, almost 6 years together. We'll do that. What's the bond you guys have? It doesn't have to be on the court, even off the court.
Yeah, we're really close friends on and off the court. I'm with her pretty much almost every day, really close. So I think that definitely has a lot to do with, the chemistry on the court as well, because we just kind of know how each other works and stuff like that.
Now, two other players I want to talk about, the two Mackenzies. First, Mackenzie Bruno. She looked pretty good in the summer league.
Yeah, definitely. She did really well.
In Howell. So talk a little, say a few things about Mackenzie Bruno.
Yeah, she's definitely a crucial player. She's definitely big on the boards for us. She's always, she gives it her all every single game. You'll never catch her not giving it everything she has. And that's definitely, an aspect that we can all take from her on the team, because no matter what, she will always be out there giving it everything she has. And she's on the boards, she's on the ground, she's everywhere. And, she's definitely a big pickup player for us, like, getting the rebounds, the scrappy plays, everything, and she can still score. So that's a big deal for us.
And then the last point, Mackenzie Green. I know healing an injury, but she kind of stood out to me last season when the few games I went to. Talk a little about Mackenzie, because it seems like the games I was at least, she was always getting her hand in the passing lane, knocking down some big threes. Talk about Mackenzie and what it's going to be like getting her back, hopefully for the start of the season.
Yeah, we're definitely really looking forward to getting her back. We missed playing with her, in the summer league and everything. And towards the end of last season, we missed having her too. But we had some good players step up in her position. But, coming into this year, we're looking forward to that, her shot. She's on pretty often with her shot. That's definitely a big thing. And like you were saying, she always gets her hand in the passing lane. She's good on defense too. So, definitely a great player.
Who's the head coach?
Joe Santopietro.
How is his coaching style and playing for him?
It's honestly pretty structured, I'd say. He definitely knows his goals coming into each season, and he's always a very prepared coach. He always has, the scouting reports for us. He knows what we have to look out for. He always is helping each individual player, instead of some coaches, they might just go in and, help the team in general, but he really focuses on everyone as an individual as well as the team. So I think that's definitely a big part of us improving each year, because he's not just focused on, winning, but it's also in a game that we lose, like, hey, was it a good loss? Like, did we work hard? Like, if it's a good loss, then obviously he's still going to be upset about not getting the win. But at the same time, if there's good things, then he's going to point that out too. So I think that's a big part in, the team morale and everything like that.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, I saw him wandering around, the basketball courts.
Yeah.
Now going into your senior year. Sorry, my nieces just got here. I hear them yelling in
It's
another
okay.
room. Going your senior year for soccer, what is a goal you might have, for the team, and then an individual goal?
Yeah. So we lost 11. I think it was 11 seniors last year.
Oh,
So
wow.
again, this is going to be a big build-up year. So even if I'm hopeful for the season. Obviously, I think we have potential to do really well this year, hopefully. But just kind of building up for even the years that I'm like after me. I think if we build a strong foundation this year, with the help of Casella, I think that we can set up the future years to come for, a successful season if we work hard this year with everyone together.
Yeah, Howell's a weird town too, because you got kids that go to Colts Neck, you got kids that go home.
All over.
Yep. Yeah, it's been like that for a while. I think, especially Freehold. I know because Colts Neck wasn't built yet when I was in school. But half of Route 9 went to Freehold, the other half went to Howell High School.
Yep.
So I know I hear it's similar, these days, but it's just weird, because I feel bad, how are you breaking up the talent? It's like the school, it's like Jackson having two high schools. You're breaking up the talent a little bit, but
yeah,
that's
exactly.
what happens when you have such huge towns with a lot of kids.
Yep.
Basketball, same question. What are some goals you have for basketball?
Yeah, so since we pretty much have the same girls as last year, we didn't we don't really have to build up as much. So I think we can use that to our advantage and just kind of work on the little things and the fundamentals. That's always a big thing for us, focusing on the fundamentals. And, obviously states and shore conference is a big goal for us. But, we're just trying to take it one step at a time right now and take all the precautions we can just to hopefully have a season at all.
Now, once I get everyone's rosters and know who's transferred who, and I do my top 10, I have Howell in the top 10 right now. Just with
That's great to hear.
Yeah, with the returning players that you have. You have a good freshman too, right? That came in.
Yes.
Oh, what's her name?
Was it Carrie DeStefano?
Yeah, I think that's it. Yeah.
Yep.
Did she play in the summer league?
She did, yes.
Was she number 1? Do you know?
I'm not sure, honestly. She might have been.
Yeah. Number 1 stood out a little bit when I was at the summer league. So you guys have a good team coming back. So you're definitely a top 10 team.
Thank
and
you.
I know I'm not the only one. I talk to other people. I'm not the only one who thinks that. So I'm looking forward. Knock on wood. That this season, seeing how far your team could go.
Yeah, thank you for that.
Before get ready to wrap up, I just want to talk about the future. Do you know what you want your major to be?
I'm thinking of biology right now.
Biology. Oh, I hate that subject. Good luck. Biology. Are you looking to be a doctor, or do you know what you want to do?
I want to. So I've always played around with the idea. I've wanted to do something in the medical field. But I've decided that I think I want to be a PA, which is a physician's assistant.
Yeah.
So.
Work hard.
Yep.
How are your grades now?
Yeah.
No, how are your grades in high school right now?
Oh, they're they're pretty good, I guess. You know, A's, so it's always good.
So better than what mine were. So I like asking this: when you were a little kid, what was your dream job, or what did you want to be?
I always used to want to be a surgeon, as weird as that sounds. It's just always fascinated me.
Okay. Um, when you're looking at schools, what are things you're looking at in schools? Non-sports related, like location, size. What are some things you're looking at from college?
Yeah, so I'm looking more of right now out of state, just to kind of branch out and just kind of, get out there. And I also want a medium size, not too big, but also my high school has about 2,500 students, so I definitely think I want more than that. Um, you know, kind of want to upgrade a little from Howell High School.
Um, all right, last question. What advice would you give your younger self?
So I think I'd probably tell my younger self to just not worry about what everyone else is telling you to do. And if you're passionate about something, just kind of do it if it's going to be good for you in the long run. Obviously not do something that's bad for you and everyone's telling you not to do it. But, if it's something that you think you that will help you in the future with something that you want to become or something that you have your mind set to, I think definitely just go for it and not worry about everyone else's opinions.
That's great. All right, Kate, I appreciate you joining me.
Thank you so much for having me.
And I wish you luck. I'll definitely, soccer season goes on, which I'm hearing it's going to happen.
Yeah,
Um,
hopefully.
I'll definitely catch a couple Howell games and
Okay, great.
and definitely basketball. I'll definitely see you. Any scrimmages this week for AAU? Do you know?
No, not this week.
Okay. Are you guys got another tournament this weekend?
No, we had the last 3 weekends we were in Spooky Nook, so right now we don't have anything this weekend.
Okay. Weekend off, good.
Yep.
All right, Kate. Thank you for joining me.
Thank you for having me.
Bye.
Bye.